Right now at 6, former President Donald Trump is set to visit Crawford County. And Wisconsin Democrats are criticizing Eric Hovde after a report on a $26 million bank deal.
We're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski. Emily is out tonight. A teen is in custody after allegedly stealing multiple vehicles and a firearm over the weekend. According to Lake Hallie Police, an officer attempted to stop a suspicious vehicle when responding to a call. The vehicle sped up and hit a parked car, sending both vehicles into a ditch. The officer told the 16-year-old driver to exit the vehicle, but he refused. When removing the driver, a loaded handgun was found. The firearm and vehicle were both confirmed stolen. That teen now facing several charges, including 2 counts of operating a motor vehicle without owner's consent, possession of a firearm under 18, and possession of a firearm while intoxicated. He's held in the juvenile detention facility until his court appearance.
Well, pretty typical end of the September day. We had morning fog in a lot of locations, and then temperatures rose to where they should be, around the upper 60s, low 70s with some light winds. Got some cloud cover out there starting to increase a little bit, but just mainly mid and some high-level cloud cover. Overall, evening-wise, we were looking at temperatures lowering back down into the 50s. Very typical type of evening with a light east wind and some cloud cover out there, but not precipitation. Should remain dry. Same story for Eau Claire. A little bit less maybe in the way of cloud cover, and then maybe clearing later. Getting back down to 52 degrees with some light winds too. Overall, we're kind of that system that have impacted us this weekend is pushed to the southeast. There's another low that's pushing up north into Missouri. That is providing more cloud cover, and you can see some of the returns getting closer to southern Wisconsin. That's the one cloud cover we're keeping an eye on. Another cloud cover also to the west in the Dakotas. Both of those systems will impact us a little bit like that. And overall, there's your current temperatures, mid-60s with cloud cover a little bit more thicker and lower as you go further south towards Prairie du Chien, although that precipitation is not reaching the ground right now. Overnight, cloud cover early, and I think a little bit of breaks later on. That'll keep the temperatures not quite as almost chilly we had this morning with some 30s and 40s. We'll be 40s near 50. The good news is we're looking at more mild conditions. We're going to go above average for the rest of the week, and that means we might actually touch 80 again.
Wow.
And that may continue through Oktoberfest weekend too. So we'll break that down a bit later in the broadcast.
As I was going to say, I thought we were fully into fall mode.
We're still in fall, but 80, you know, you can get that 80 in October too.
That's right. All right, Greg, thank you. Well, former President Donald Trump is set to visit Crawford County this weekend. He's expected to deliver remarks at the Prairie du Chien Area Arts Center at 11:30 a.m. Saturday, with doors opening at 8:30. The presidential candidate expected to speak about the border, as well as recent crimes allegedly committed by illegal immigrants in the area. We'll have a link to tickets to that event on our digital platforms. In the meantime, Wisconsin Democrats are criticizing Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde over his bank's alleged ties to a troubled Mexican bank. Last week, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported Banco Azteca, long tied to the Mexican drug cartel, allegedly flew $26 million in cash over the border to Hovde's SunWest Bank last December. In a virtual call today, Wisconsin Democratic Party Chair Ben Wickler says he's concerned about the possibility of other similar dealings.
This raises questions about why Eric Hovde still isn't being fully honest about which other foreign banks and governments are depositing money into Eric Hovde's bank. What else is Eric Hovde hiding?
In releases, Democrats say they are not accusing Hovde or his bank of illegal activity. But Wickler says if Hovde doesn't reveal which other foreign entities his bank has done business with, he thinks it'll be difficult for Wisconsinites to trust the Senate candidate. Now, Hovde's campaign is speaking out against the allegations. His spokesman releasing a statement today calling them, quote, made up, and claiming it's, quote, a desperate ploy to distract voters from his primary opponent, incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers is in La Crosse today, highlighting clean energy and sustainability. The governor's visit coincides with National Clean Energy Week. He toured Summit Environmental School on French Island to visit some classrooms, the outdoor natural playscape, and he even went canoeing with some students. Evers says attending a school that prioritizes the environment leaves a lasting impact.
I think students leave here with an idea that saving our environment and being conscious of how important our environment is absolutely going to be part of their lives forever.
Summit is among the next schools aiming to go solar in the area, part of the Solar on La Crosse Schools initiative. After his stop in La Crosse, the governor continued his clean energy tour with stops in Hager City and Superior. County officials from across the state have traveled to La Crosse for the Wisconsin Counties Association Conference. That conference at the La Crosse Center features speakers and workshops highlighting issues facing counties. Today's General Assembly included a speech from the governor and a discussion on the state's political landscape with Jeff Mayers of WisPolitics. The event gives the roughly 1,000 attendees an opportunity to network and share ideas.
It's just an outstanding opportunity to get together to meet those other people who deal with the same issues you do on a daily basis, hopefully make life for their citizens a little better when they go home.
Senator Baldwin and Senate candidate Eric Hovde will give statements tomorrow as part of the General Assembly. Baldwin's will be a pre-recorded video. A new safety initiative is rolling into town. County and state officials are teaming up to educate kids on the dangers of trains. Operation Lifesaver is a nonprofit that works to reduce injuries and deaths related to railroad tracks and crossings. It's bringing its message to La Crosse, holding an event this morning as part of the organization's See Tracks, Think Train Week. Wisconsin's director of Operation Lifesaver says even if tracks aren't generally active, it doesn't mean you're safe from trains.
A lot of times we see tracks and they're just lying there doing nothing. And that one time when a train does come through. So our big message going to be to the kids this week is you see tracks, think trains.
There were 3 train accidents in La Crosse County in 2023, and according to Operation Lifesaver, distraction continues to be a leading cause of train-related incidents year after year. The UW Board of Regents will vote Friday whether to fire former UWL Chancellor Joe Gao. UW-La Crosse fired Gao as chancellor last year after he appeared in online pornography with his wife. Now the full UW board will meet in Kenosha Friday to potentially remove him from his tenured faculty position. The news comes after a UW committee recommended firing Gao during a hearing in Madison last Friday. A public health alert is out for a certain brand of brats. State officials are issuing the alert for some brats made by Maloney's Bologna in Durand. The alert is for their wild rice and cheddar cheese brats and wild rice and cranberry brats. Those products contain wheat, which is an allergen, but it's not listed on the label. The brats were sold at the Maloney's Bologna store on or before September 17th. So far, no one's gotten sick from eating them. If you have these brats and you're worried about the wheat, officials say to throw them away. Tracing Spaces, a business in rural La Crosse County, is in the running for the coolest thing made in Wisconsin.
Chart your career with a fabricator position at Chart Industries. Starting wage up to $30 per hour with no experience necessary. Excellent pay and awesome benefits. Apply now at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
There are over 21,000 Wisconsin veterans struggling to pay for rent and utilities.
Thank you for your service.
Many are also facing issues with their mental health.
Thank you for your service.
We must do more to help these heroes who have already sacrificed so much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Words simply aren't enough.
I'm sorry.
Make a difference by donating to this critical Wisconsin survival safety net today.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck.
Get 0% APR on 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali models. That's over $6,400 in average finance savings.
Visit your Best Choice GMC dealer today.
As the mom of a daughter, I'm livid that boys are now being allowed to compete in girls' sports. It's just wrong, and I blame Tammy Baldwin. She voted to let biological men into women's sports. Worse, Baldwin co-sponsored legislation to force girls to share locker rooms with biological men. Tammy Baldwin is failing to keep our families safe. Tammy Baldwin's extreme values are wrong for Wisconsin. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Chart your career with a fabricator position at Chart Industries. Starting wage up to $30 per hour with no experience necessary. Excellent pay and awesome benefits. Apply now at jobs.chartindustries.com.
A Bangor company is nominated for an annual contest celebrating Wisconsin-made products. A big idea and a precise laser have them doing business all over the country.
We're just a small company from Bangor, Wisconsin, doing business with some of the biggest companies in the world.
Trace My Space in Bangor is one of roughly 130 products competing for the title of coolest thing made in Wisconsin.
We make inserts that control your tools, so you're never missing a tool.
Cody Spears bought the company when it was still just a concept in California. He partnered with Chad Weirs, a staple in the local racing industry, who saw the appeal right away.
If you're at a race and you do crash and need a tool quick, you don't have to search for it. It's right where it should be in the toolbox.
We thought this would be a product that would be a really big hit in the racing industry for tool control. We were a little wrong on that.
Turns out even the largest corporations, from Amazon to Boeing, all crave some organized drawers.
Pretty much any aerospace company you can think of, they're ordering through us now.
Whether it's one person needing a single drawer or a manufacturer needing hundreds, Trace My Space can customize any order.
That laser back there will cut foam sheets 8 foot by 4 foot.
All a customer has to do is measure their setup and take a photo of how they want their tools arranged.
Upload it to our site. They'll pick a top layer thickness, a bottom layer color, and then that picture goes to our designers, and then they scale it to the size of the tool, and then they trace around it and make essentially a cut file.
The laser handles the rest, able to cut any shapes or customize logos. Depending on the order, an insert reaches the customer within 10 to 20 days. A simple process, and one that's now in high demand.
2024 will produce about 8,000 custom inserts. That's double from what we did last year.
And it has Spears and Weirs in prime position to look at expansion and to keep tracing spaces all over the country.
These large companies, they're trusting a company from Bangor, Wisconsin to make these foam inserts for them is pretty cool.
And this isn't the only local business nominated for this contest. Would love to see them all. We'll have information on how you can vote for the coolest thing made in Wisconsin on our platforms. We've got more news ahead, but first.
Yeah, we definitely have fall-like temperatures where we should be for Monday, today, and even Tuesday. But we're going to go well above average for the rest of the week. And that, in fact, means we might actually get close to 80. I'll break it all down for you coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
It can be back-breaking work all day, every day, pretty much on your feet. So it burns me up when Eric Hovde says people in Wisconsin don't work hard. The guy is a multi-millionaire California banker. He has absolutely no idea what we're going through. He's living the high life out there in a big fancy house. He even brags about being in the 1%. Listen, don't come here and tell us we're not working hard when we are just getting by. Eric Hovde doesn't respect us at all. The guy's a straight-up jerk. DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Scouting has helped them build confidence through problem solving, learning to cook over a fire, building a tent in areas that they don't always get exposed to.
It's not competitive. It really helps develop your son or daughter into a great human being.
This is a great opportunity for your child to get to know the outdoors, and there's so much that outside and nature can provide for our children, and having these experiences is what Scouting is all about.
The liberal elite in Washington are running one of their own here in Wisconsin. A political insider who worked to elect liberals in California even supported a dark money group focused on defunding the police. Her name, Rebecca Cook, political operative bankrolled by the liberal elite. They handpicked her to help win back the House, trusted to elect liberal heroes like Mandela Barnes. They trust her because Rebecca Cook is one of them.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Dutch Boy, it's only paint. It's only paint that comes in an award-winning twist and pour container. It's only paint that can cover the brightest shade of orange known to mankind in just one coat. It's only paint that will inspire you to write your masterpiece. It's only paint that will help you become TV's hottest writer, where one day you'll meet this guy who starred in that thing. So yeah, it's only paint. Only easy opening, smooth pouring, change your life both professionally and romantically. Dutch Boy Paint.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
We found out our baby had severe fetal abnormalities and that my life was at risk. But Wisconsin Republicans' extreme abortion ban forced us to leave the state to get the care that I needed. It was a nightmare. Eric Hovde pushed to end Roe v. Wade. And in the Senate, Hovde would give Mitch McConnell the majority to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of women like me. What is wrong with these guys?
Yeah, for this time of year, we're definitely starting to see the temperatures continue to fall. Right now, most areas are going to see their average high towards the end of September into early October in the 60s, which we're kind of right at right now. And then more 40s is going to be more common for lows in a lot of areas. We've already seen that. Even 30s, too. We saw that earlier this morning. So we're going to see that for at least through tomorrow. We still could deal with some morning fog, low clouds. If you're near the rivers, large body of waters, that typically is more favored for the fall. That could be a problem tomorrow morning and also Wednesday morning. As I mentioned, seasonal temperatures, upper 60s, low 70s, but then we start warming up for the rest of the week. The rest of the week will be above average, and that means potentially an 80 coming Thursday, Friday, maybe even this weekend, depending on how things play out, but it definitely is going to be above average, potentially about 10 or maybe a little bit more degrees above average. Right now, all the system we're watching providing cloud cover. That's one that's coming up to Missouri. That's one to watch. The little activity out to the west, that is going to bring some cloud cover, but it's also going to fall apart. And then we just have a tropical depression, which is going to eventually become a major hurricane as it approaches northeastern Florida, the Panhandle. That also will play a factor in our weather just a little bit. It depends on the exact path, but I think we will see impacts. Now, we had some fog this morning, especially Eau Claire area had some really dense fog for a little while. I don't see as much as you go into tomorrow morning, but still some of the areas near rivers could see visibility drop below 5, maybe with some low clouds. By the time we get to about 7 to 8, we should start seeing some improvement, and especially by 9 to 10 with enough sun, all that should burn off. But we do have more clouds overall tonight, little high clouds, so that should keep, I think, it becoming more dense. That may become more of a problem come Wednesday. As you wake up otherwise, you'll see temperatures upper 40s, mid 40s, some of the colder spots maybe low 40s, near 50, so a little bit warmer. That little front out to the Dakotas gets close enough to Minneapolis, but you'll see it just really fall apart and become just some cloud cover throughout most of the day. There's your low clouds right there, still along the river areas and that. By the time we get to 10 p.m., we're back near 60. And then in the afternoon hour, plenty of sunshine, clouds here and there, but overall we should get back maybe a couple degrees warmer than today, but pretty similar overall. And that's your high temperatures right there, maybe a degree above average, but all in all, pretty typical for end of September to see these type of conditions too. Now, I mentioned the hurricane. We're going to have impacts from that. Eventually, as it makes landfall sometime Thursday, it's going to shift north and weaken. This other low it's going to be drifting east towards it is also going to begin to lift north and kind of rotate back to the west. So this cloud cover is going to begin to expand by Friday, and then the precipitation is going to get awfully close as we go Saturday into the weekend. Now, how far it goes is still a little in the air. I think the further south you go, you might see some precipitation, but I think through the weekend, cloud cover will continue all the way through Sunday, and you see the precipitation get a little bit close. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but for right now, chances are still low. Even if we do get any rain, it would be very light. But the other big story is to mention the temperatures, upper 70s, near 80. So some areas could get into low 80s depending on cloud cover. That rain chance this weekend is very small and mainly probably centered south of La Crosse, and then we cool down towards next week. So all in all, I don't think you can beat this conditions really for Oktoberfest because it's not going to be hot like last year. Not going to be rain and pouring or anything. So cloud cover in upper 70s, can't beat that.
No, I think we're in a good spot there.
Yeah, I think we are.
All right, Greg, thanks very much. Coming up next in sports, a family affair. 3 brothers on the Logan football team are in the middle of a special season. Jacob's exclusive sit-down with the talented family is next.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years, highest gas prices ever, skyrocketing interest rates, unaffordable housing, incomes down, unemployment rising, and a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
Thousands of our heroes face the difficult choice between keeping their heat and power on or facing homelessness. 21,000 Wisconsin veterans are living below the poverty line. Wisconsin loses 3 veterans to suicide every week. Together, our mission is to provide all struggling Wisconsin veterans with a critical survival safety net. You can make a real difference by providing a donation to the Wisconsin Heat and Housing for Heroes initiative.
It's a lot quieter around here than it used to be. I'm Rebecca Cook. When I was growing up, this farm was bustling. Holsteins, hired hands, harvesting crops. But big corporations put family farms like mine out of business. And what has Derek Van Orden done? Nothing. Tax cuts for big ag, rising healthcare costs, undermining our democracy, extremism. We need real working people in Washington. And that's why I approve this message.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, when opposing coaches get ready to game plan for the Logan Ranger football team, they can't just say watch out for Czech. They need to be a bit more specific. I sat down with 3 brothers and talked about what it's like to play at the varsity level together.
Go! They say when going through a football season, your teammates turn into your brothers. Hey, good catch, Tommy! Well, for Bradley, Owen, and Tommy Czech, they've been tackling life together for a while now.
Plenty of friends, family friends within the neighborhood where we would, play with them, invite them over, whether it was to our front yard or, like I said, UWL.
The Czech boys are the ultimate triple threat. Bradley, a senior, is one of the premier talents in the state at the quarterback position. Owen, a junior, is up front blocking for his brother, creating those lanes. And Tommy, who was the water boy for the team last year when he was in 8th grade, is one of Bradley's favorite targets when he airs it out.
We didn't get to see each other much with them being at practice for so long and whatever, so being able to hang out with them, go to school in the mornings with them, and then leave school and practice with them has helped me and I think helped our bond as brothers.
The trio has the special honor of leading out the team before the game.
Us 3 will kind of be out front there and lead our way to the 50-yard line. I cherish every moment of those, yeah.
Bradley is having a monster final year statistically as a Ranger, but he says one of his favorite parts of the season is that he gets to create more memories with the 2 that he's spent more time with than anyone.
I definitely didn't think about this during last year's season where it's like, oh, I'll have a chance to play with both my siblings.
Hey, good block, Owen.
Good stuff, Tommy. But now that it's happening, it's really special.
As most brothers will tell you, though, there are moments where Owen and Tommy need to see what Big Bro was thinking during a specific play.
Yeah, a lot of conversations at home about me yelling at him to throw me the ball and whatever, going back on film, looking at to see if he made the right play or not.
If I'm run blocking and he's dancing in the backfield and maybe he could have cut upfield here, I'd look back and what are you doing here? Why didn't you take this obvious hole here?
In a world of rivalries and competition, Bradley, Owen, and Tommy Czech are a reminder that sometimes the strongest team is made up of family.
I love that they've really brought me along with them.
Getting our names announced maybe after a tackle or a reception, then we're like, yeah, that's my brother.
It's just a really cool experience to be, on the same football field, starting in our case, with us 3 as a trio. Keep doing what you're doing, Owen.
right.
Good
That's
job,
right.
buddy.
Big brother, Bradley.
Good job, buddy.
Hey, you're doing a good job.
Wait, we need to do it one more time.
All right, good stuff there. Love
Yeah.
talking to those guys. A lot of fun, great kids, and playing with your brother. I play with a brother who was a year and a half younger than me, and it's very special. So, fun stuff. Huh?
Absolutely. Looked like a great couple of conversations. Good to get the kids to open up a little bit about
Yeah,
family
you
because
got to.
it's a great sentiment.
Yeah, and there was brothers in the background saying, "Oh," laugh at their answers, you know,
Messing up
whatever. So
each other.
it's just
Yeah.
brother stuff. So.
Classic.
All right,
good stuff, Jacob. Thank you so much. Greg's going to have one more check of your forecast right after this.
We know Wisconsin workers can get the job done.
But China has been taking our jobs.
For years, our government built America's infrastructure with Chinese iron and steel. I said that's gotta change.
Tammy Baldwin wrote the law to make sure American projects are made with American iron and steel. Now we're getting more work in Wisconsin. With Wisconsin workers.
Tammy Baldwin stood up to China and our government.
She got the job done.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
What if you never had to worry about what you could do? Because you could do anything. Anywhere could be the center of everywhere. And boundaries only existed to be pushed. So the only limit you faced was how big you could dream. What would you do then? Some pretty cool stuff, I bet. Yeah, that'd be some life. That'd be life unlimited.
I'm not old enough to vote yet, but I learned how 1 out of 6 of us will someday be raped. So please, think about me when you vote. I learned how our freedom to have an abortion was taken away. Even in cases of rape or incest. Even to travel to get an abortion. You know who got rid of Roe v. Wade. When you vote, please think about me. Because the politician who got rid of Roe v. Wade, he couldn't care less.
All right, update on leaf color. Northeast of Rhineland are getting a little bit more color up there. We're kind of in that 10 to 25% around here. It'll definitely start changing, I think, by next week. More color, but it's starting. Fall-like really was today and tomorrow, but then it's more, it's summer-like, but definitely going to be upper 70s as we go.
A little fluctuation there.
A little fluctuation, yes.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. We'll see you guys at 10.